Are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? Terence Crawford smashed everybody that Floyd ever fought. Yep. Manfredi, done. Fried. Crawford would have beat him, dominated him, knocked him the hell out. Crawford hit harder than Floyd. Crawford hits harder than Floyd. You understand that? Killer instinct is on 10. Oh, man, come on, man. Crawford can do everything Floyd can do. And he can do it from both sides.
Crawford can do everything Floyd Mayweather can do, and he can do it from both stances. Tim Bradley, a unified world champion, was at the top of his game, destroying everyone in his training camp. He expected an easy day when his manager brought in an unknown 23-year-old from Nebraska. But he was wrong. Within minutes, that kid landed a perfect counter right hook and dropped Bradley. It wasn't luck, it was a terrifying moment where Bradley realized he was facing a boxing genius. And the scariest part? Nobody else knew his name yet.
I won't fight Crawford.
Timmy, when you brought Terence to your camp a few years back,
yeah,
you told him you're gonna be a future champ.
Yep.
You knew it, right?
Yep.
What do you have? What kind of skill did he have?
Everything. Mentally tough, physically strong, boxing ability, high IQ for sport, student of the game, confident, everything. He's a friend of mine.
To understand how huge this was, rewind to 2011. Bradley was preparing for a major fight against Devin Alexander. His training camp was intense so much that he was literally hurting sparring partners and running out of fighters. Desperate, his team brought in Terence Crawford as a last-minute replacement. Crawford had only a dozen professional fights and had never gone past the 7th round. It was a brutally unfair setup. Bradley had his entire world-class team in his corner, analyzing every second, while Crawford was alone, quietly shadowboxing, unaware he was about to face a monster.
Well, first of all, I think I was getting ready for Devin Alexander, and then I had him for Pacquiao too. So I had him for 2 camps, but I was getting ready for Devin Alexander, and I was tip-top shape. I was sending everybody home. I was beating up everybody in the gym, sending them home. And I was running out of sparring partners. So I told my manager, Cameron Duncan at the time.
That was 2011? That was about 2011,
yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah. And then so I called him up and I said, hey, I need a sparring partner, man. Like, I'm sending these guys home. Like, I need somebody that's durable, somebody strong, somebody tough. And he was just like, well, I'll send Crawford. I'll see if he can come out. So got in contact with Crawford, his camp, whatever. He flew out by himself. He came in the gym. I seen him sitting in the gym. He had these little plaits in his head. He's very dark skinned. Look kind of scrawny. He looked strong. You know what I'm saying? I already know, certain builds. I'm like, yeah, he looks strong. Yeah. Very lanky, quiet, didn't talk much, man. He warmed up, got in the gym. We started working. We started sparring, and I was like, oh my God, he was lighting me up. Every mistake I made, bing, 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 he was catching me, countering the shit out of me. And I was like, my gosh.
When the session began, Bradley tried to take it easy to see what Crawford could do. That was a big mistake. Crawford immediately landed a stiff jab, then a sharp counter that shocked Bradley. Bradley, embarrassed in his own gym, turned up the intensity to world title pace. But Crawford didn't break. Amid all the chaos, he landed a precise shot that buckled Bradley's legs. Bradley admits today that in a real fight, it would have been a knockdown. The gym went completely silent. The unknown kid had just dropped the champ.
Yeah, so after the sparring session, I'm like, yo, I sat there, I'm like, damn, bust a lip and all. I'm like, man, I was sending everybody home. I'm like, this dude just walked through me like nothing. I looked at him, I said, bruh, you ain't no sparring partner. I said, man, what's your name? And he was like, Terence Crawford. And I'm like, man, where the hell you from? He goes, Omaha, Nebraska. I go, bruh. I'm like, you ain't no sparring partner. You a world champion. And he was like, you really think? I was like, man, you got the goods. Look, listen to me. Every time I would try to step it up, because that's what I would do. I would go half-ass, and then, if they start getting the best of me, then I'll step it up. And if they start getting, then if they rise their game, then I rise mine. And I just kept rising my game. And I just kept trying to rise my game. Well, he rose his game. And I'm like, God, I was like, dang, this dude is different. Like most guys would just crumble. Like, oh, you the champ, so I'm just gonna lay down. He didn't lay down at all. He didn't take it easy on me, and I was like, oh my god. So it went from there. So I immediately after training, I took him back to his hotel, and better yet, he had no coach with him. Nobody would. Literally, they were giving him water, and that was it. He didn't have a coach telling him what to do. My coach sure as hell wasn't telling him what to do. And he just figured it out. And I'm just like, what the hell going on here?
This is why Bradley now calls Crawford a master thinker. Most young fighters crumble when a champion turns up the pressure. Crawford did the opposite. With no coach giving instructions, he adjusted in real time. Bradley described him as a chameleon, and when pressed aggressively, Crawford fought off the back foot. When Bradley boxed from distance, Crawford switched stances from orthodox to southpaw, disrupting the champ's rhythm. Using his wrestling background, he pivoted out of dangerous corners and set intricate traps. Every time Bradley thought he had an opening, he realized seconds later that he had walked into Crawford's trap. After 4 furious rounds, Bradley's trainer finally stopped the session to save the champion from unnecessary punishment.
Cameron. I'm like, yo, where does that come from?
Cameron Duncan?
Like, Cameron Duncan? Yeah, he goes, what, he's no good? You're going to send him home too? And I'm like, hell no. I was like, bro, when is this kid fighting? He was just like, what do you mean? I said, dude, what are you doing with him? And he was just like, well, nothing right now. He's kind of benched. Issues. He has issues outside of the ring, and so he's kind of benched. I'm like, bro, I was like, I'll buy him out of his contract right now. I said, how much you want for him? I'll buy him right now. And he was like, wait, hold up. I love Terence. What are you talking about? His tone changed real quick when I was telling him, like, bro, I was like, he dominated me in his sparring session. He goes, what? He goes, really? Oh, yeah. So then, all right.
He didn't know what he had.
He had no clue what he had, right? Yeah. Neither did Top Rank, right? So then I'm finished camp or whatever. I go through Devin Alexander. I beat him, whatever. Then I get a call, and they're like, hey, what do you think about Crawford and Prescott? And I was like, Prescott who? The dude that knocked out Khan? Yeah. I'm like, oh, I was like, Crawford. I said, he'll box circles around him. I said, he probably even stop him. And it was like, he goes, really? Really? And this is Cameron Duncan I'm talking to. He goes, really? You really? He's like, you're sure? I'm like, man, I promise you. Everything. Whatever it is, I promise you. And I was like, man, I was like, yo, you still want to go 50-50 on Crawford? He goes, no, I'm fine.
Bradley's biggest takeaway wasn't just getting dropped. Having fought Manny Pacquiao for 36 brutal rounds, he later made a controversial claim: skill for skill, Terence Crawford is actually superior to Pacquiao.
I said Manny Pacquiao is the name people are throwing out there, Tim, and you've been in the ring with him 3 times, and you've been in the ring with Terence when you guys sparred. How do you see that matchup? What does Tim Bradley think about that?
I mean, it's a tough match. That's a tough match. But, of course, I'm going to go with my boy. I'm going to go with my boy Terence. I think he, the IQ, man. That movement he showed tonight, that definitely would give Manny problems, with all that movement. But, then again, when you think about it, because I've been in the ring with Manny, this dude, he ain't like Postol. He ain't going to sit there and, no, he ain't going to sit there and no, Manny's going to be, and he going to be letting them hands fly. So I think it'll be an interesting matchup. I would favor my boy Terence with his size, his movement. I would favor him in the fight. I would want him to beat him. But it's like I said, man, that's a tough fight. Manny, you can never count that guy out, man. He's a beast.
Does Manny still have a lot left, Tim?
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah. That last time out, I don't know what I said to piss him off, but that last time out, he looked good. He was sensational. He learned a lot from that Floyd fight, let me tell you that.
Bradley explained the difference: Pacquiao overwhelms with speed, power, and relentless physical pressure. Crawford dismantles you mentally. Pacquiao is a storm you try to survive. Crawford is a cerebral assassin who nullifies your best weapons before you even throw them. It's the difference between being beaten by brute force and being completely outsmarted by a superior mind.
I love Terence Crawford. I disagree with that because I think Floyd at his best. Because I think Floyd at his best was a better defensive fighter than Crawford. Crawford's a better offensive fighter, but in those kind of matchups, I think defense usually beats the offense.
I don't. Because Terence Crawford got more to bring. He got more to bring to the table.
He's a great fighter.
Floyd Mayweather got the little shoulder roll. I get it. Controls distance. But Terence Crawford is also a master at distance. Terence Crawford has punching power to hurt Floyd Mayweather. We saw that in the jab to the fight now.
Yeah, Shane too. Shane hurt him with the right hand.
Shane hurt him as well.
Yep.
And did he fight Shane? But did Floyd fight Shane in his prime? Do you think he fought him in his prime?
No.
Exactly.
And Zab wasn't quite a Shane-level fighter. That's true. Listen, it'd be a great match. It'd be a great matchup, no doubt. What you said about the other fighters who are avoiding him, those fighters are with Heyman in the PBC. But when you listen, and obviously you're not in a rush to throw your guy in with Terence Crawford if you can make money other ways at 147 pounds. But
True.
Sean Porter has mentioned Terence Crawford. He's not running. It has been reported recently that Arum and Heyman were talking about a Crawford-Spence fight. Not this year, but the following year, if they remained undefeated, but then Spence got into the car accident. And we see now that with the Fury-Wilder fight happening, maybe there's a thawing and more of a willingness to do business, if it makes sense, between the promoters. And Heyman's technically an advisor, but he's a power broker. I would love to see if Spence gets back to being the same guy he is and isn't facing legal repercussions for the car accident. Yes. I would love to see Spence and Crawford. I think that's the best fight in boxing, Tim.
Yes, it is. Right now it is.